smelled like crude chemicals, and each was aimed towards an area of my back. In front of me was what looked like an armored straitjacket with the sleeves freed. It looked like liquid metal. When I looked above me, I saw a mask with needles glued in places. They also had a surgical quality. None of the needles would puncture a vital area. They glowed red, no doubt to seal the wounds they would create once they burrowed into my head. With a stoic voice, I asked what these things around me were. He laughed, this time with no other masked emotion. Then he said,
"You do not expect to end it all as you are, do you? You must be optimized to your maximum potential. Shall we begin?"
I fidgeted in my restraints a little to attempt a more comfortable position, to no avail, and I said, "I will not fail you. Begin the process." And before he flipped the switch, I asked its name, a risky question to which it replied with much pride.
"I am Mr. Sly."
First came the metal pipes. There were 6 of them in rows of 2. First came the lowest row. They dug into me at an underhanded position. Blood poured out of my back. So much blood. I screamed as the giant needles latched onto the lowest of my ribs. It adjusted itself a little, as if to make sure it was in the right position. Next came the middle layer. It was shaped differently. It looked as though it was meant to grip a spine. This one dug into me much slower, as though it was trying very hard not to hit anything important. Much more blood came from these wounds. This time only shocked tears fell from my eyes, and my mouth was wide open. These wounds hurt much less. The highest ones seemed to be made to fit into someone's shoulders. I didn't even feel those. I wasn't even afraid. In fact, I felt nothing. I was a helpless, mindless child. I looked around me, and I vaguely remember something so terrible that it has haunted me to this very day. I heard them weeping, sobbing, and crying as they never had before. To a normal person, it would have sounded like beasts arguing, but no, this was different. I truly was their favorite thing. They loved me. Everything changed as the mask began to lower. I was brought back into a mind, not mine. This mind was frightened and cold. This mind saw the mask as something to be feared, an invader to its primitive world. I was afraid, truly terrified, as only an arrogant human can. I looked into the beast's eyes, and I knew they saw it in me. The sickness. The mask lowered onto my face, and the various spikes burned their way through my skull into various sections of my brain. I could smell my own roasting flesh. And I screamed once more. The beasts surrounded me. They had hungry looks on their faces, but they had guilt too, as though they thought what they were doing was wrong. But they just couldn't help themselves. Many of the beasts had long teeth and claws. They dug these into my leg with vicious ferocity, taking chunks out of my leg, causing my legs to flow with blood. Then something broke inside me. Something so precious. My peace. All fear left me at that moment. All that was left was bloodlust, and a desire to make others bleed, a desire to burn everything and everyone in my path, a desire to destroy all likeness of humans and their plague. The beasts stopped and backed away in fear of me. It tasted great. The acknowledgement of their awareness of who I was. I freed myself with all my strength and grabbed the straitjacket. I put it on. The jacket covered itself on me. It fit perfectly, like self-tightening straps. It covered my hands and made my arms heavy, and my fingers sharp. The weight of the metal made it impossible or very difficult to stand up straight at all. So I found myself hunched over. Though in a hunched position, I felt stronger, faster, and I found that all my senses had greatly improved. All but pain. They embraced me. Each of them gave me an affectionate hug. Even the cripple. I could no longer feel my wounds. They had healed already. I stepped onto a ledge and cried out with passion, "The time of them has ended. Begin the slaughter." They all rejoiced at this. I've never seen them so happy. And so we traveled from towns to villages, cities to homes, settlements to ecosystems. And we burned it. We burnt and ate it all. We ended it all, and we were happy. So very happy. Next came the final thing, euthanizing the beasts. It was not a happy time. Large groups of them came to me every day, and I ended each one that came to me. Sometimes by request, sometimes by force. I remember there were a few that ran, but never fast enough. I can still remember their screams. I had to do it. They were sick. I saved them. I saved them all. I was supposedly the most perfect of everything. That's what they told me. I now look at myself, at my hands, my face, my mannerisms. As much as I hate to say, I am human too. Just better than the rest. Their deaths would be in vain if I don't finish it. I am Mr. Well Done, and have done a fine job. So this is goodbye for now. Even now I have started to rip out my, quote, add-ons, and I have already started to bleed out. It's only a matter of time. Though I am sorry it had to be this way, forgiving me would be pointless. It'll all happen again. I told you I know the secrets to this universe. And you're next. And you, and you, and you. You're all going